Hello, today I'm making bacon cheese burgers with red cabbage coleslaw. So first of all we're going to make the coleslaw. So we're going to take half of green cabbage, half of red cabbage, a red onion, some vegan mayonnaise, Worcester sauce and tomato sauce. Take the outside layer off. So you can chop it manually, shred it quite finely, or you can chop it in a food processor. Then pop it in the bowl, breaking it all up so it's nice and shredded. And then take the red cabbage and do the same, shred the red cabbage up. Don't cut it too chunky because you want it nice and fine and shredded. We're only going to use half of the onion, we're going to use the other half with the burger. So cut the ends off, cut in half, peel the outside papery bit off, save the other half for later. Cut it down the middle and again finally chop it up. Okay, then mix it up. Then take your vegan mayonnaise and put 3 heaped spoonfuls of mayonnaise in, a heaped teaspoon of tomato sauce and a shaking of Worcester sauce. And then mix that all in until it's mixed in. Turning it over, make sure you get it from the bottom because you don't want to be left with bits at the bottom that have got no mayonnaise on. So then take the other half of your onion, which we're going to fry off for onions for the burger. So chop it into fairly thin pieces. Also going to cook some vegan bacon with it. So take 2 or 3 slices of bacon and just cut it in half. Okay, when your pan's nice and warm, take a little drop of olive oil and a knob of butter. Melt the butter in the pan and wait for the oil to become nice and hot. So firstly, we're going to pop the onions in and we're going to fry those off for a minute or 2 before we put the bacon in to soften them up a little bit. So now your onions have started to fry and softening off, we're now going to add the bacon to the pan as well. And then we're just going to leave that to cook away while we make the burgers. So we then take another onion. I'm probably going to only use about 1/4 of this onion. And then we're going to chop this very finely. Then take your finely chopped onion and pop it in a bowl. Then just check on your onions and your bacon that it's cooking nicely. Turn your bacon over so it cooks onto the other side as well. And you can see it's nice and crispy and your onions are softening up nicely. So while that's cooking away, we're going to make the burgers. So take your 1/4 of an onion that you've done, take about 250 grams of vegan mince, pop that in the bowl. Then we're going to take a pinch of salt, some ground black pepper and a little dash of Worcester sauce, and then with your hands we're going to mix it all in together so that all the onions and the salt and the pepper and the Worcester sauce all mix in. Okay, some of the onion will fall out, which at the end you cook it all off and it will be nice little crispy bits at the end that you can pop on the top. So then we're going to take about a handful size ball and we're going to make it into a ball and we're going to push it down into a patty and we're going to make them all up like that. You should get 4 or maybe 5 out of this depending on how big you make your patties, and then push them down. And as you can see, that's nice and cooked, your onions are browned off and your bacon's nice and crispy. So we're then just going to transfer that into a bowl and we'll set that aside for later to decorate our burgers with when we garnish them. Okay, take a little bit more olive oil and then just flatten your patties out and then pop them in the pan. You can make these as big or as small as you like. And then the onions that I said that had fallen in the bottom, just pop in your pan because they'll cook off to be really crispy and they're really nice then. Then just put a little knob of butter in the pan. And these cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Just push down on them gently just to flatten them off. And then when we turn the burgers over to cook the other side, we then put the sliced cheese on top, and then that will melt while the other side is cooking. Okay, so now we're going to turn these over, and as you will see, they're nice and golden brown on the other side. So then take your cheese and put one piece of cheese on top of each burger, and I say while that's now cooking, that cheese will melt off. And we are going to fill the rolls ready and put the coleslaw out. And I'm going to serve this up sort of how you would get it if you went into a pub restaurant. And I'm also going to do with mine with a bowl of tortilla chips. On the base of the roll, I'm putting vegan mayonnaise, and just take a spoonful, spoon it on, and just push it round with the spoon. Not too much. And then on the top, I'm doing tomato sauce. Again, take it with your spoon and just push it round. So while they're still cooking, we are going to put some, I'm using Rocket because I prefer it. Adds a nice kick to your burger. So we're going to put that on the side that's got the mayonnaise. We're then going to take a tomato and we're going to slice our tomato. So now these burgers are cooked, because vegan cheese doesn't melt very well, I'm just going to give it about a minute under the grill, because then it will make the cheese all nice and bubbly. Okay, so that's now been under the grill for a minute or two, so that's our burgers are cooked. So take a burger, I'm going to put some bacon, 2 pieces of bacon on top, some of your fried onions, 2 pieces of tomato, and then do you remember I said about the nice crispy bits of onion that you find in here? These are the best bits. Some little crispy bits, and then pop your top on. Homemade vegan burger with red cabbage coleslaw and tortilla chips.